Tonight on Pet Tech, the brand new Xiaomi Tag versus the Apple AirTag second generation. Why are they so similar? Why are they so different? And which one should you get? We're gonna answer all of these questions today. Hi!
Hello. We are Key, Bee, and Tena sleeping over there. And we are from Pocket Puppy School.
Ta-da!
Over the years, we have reviewed a lot of different GPS trackers, such as Satellite, Tractive, Ocular, Bite Tag, and even AirTag. And I guess some would even say that we are experts. And that's why we have decided to also take a closer look at this new Apple AirTag and this pretty cool Xiaomi Tag.
And I think we can all agree that losing things sucks, right? And you know one thing that we don't want to lose? Our dog. So because we are kind of a dog training platform, we also talk about GPS devices because losing pets is a really serious thing that happens in the world, and any type of GPS device that could help against that is good. But don't worry if you don't have a dog, you can always get one later. We're just gonna take a look at these devices by themselves. Ready? Let's start with the Apple AirTag.
This is the brand new Apple AirTag. Whoops. This is the brand new Apple AirTag second generation. Apple released the new AirTag just this year, and they mainly made two big upgrades. Firstly, the Bluetooth range, which is a little bit wider, a little bit stronger. And secondly, the sound feature, which is a little bit louder and sharper on the ear. But if you look at the first generation and the second generation side by side, you can hardly see the difference. But if you really do want to look them apart, you can look at this tiny text that is written on the AirTag. On the outside, they look pretty much the same. But is the new one better? Let's find out in a minute.
Where did I put the Xiaomi Tag?
I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, you're sitting on it.
Old people problems, can't remember where they put things. That's why these things exist in the first place, I say. And in my hand, I have the brand new Xiaomi Tag from the company Xiaomi, who is very well known for doing any type of tech thing out there, but who is also known for copying Apple in a couple of ways. And this device is, I would say, a direct jab at the market where AirTags right now lie. There are a couple of products in that market, such as the Samsung Tag, the AirTag, and a couple of others, such as Pebblebee and Chipolo. But now Xiaomi has brought out their own version. This also came out this year, and it's a little bit similar in the way that it's white and rounded, but it's also a little bit unique. And we'll get to that in a second. Let's first start off with how we can set up these devices. And the setup is the first step, and it already tells you a lot about why these two devices are pretty different. With the AirTag, you definitely need an iPhone or an iPad to set it up. You just hold it near your device and it pops up like magic. Apple devices are very well integrated into each other. With the Xiaomi is an Android device, so it is recommended that you use an Xiaomi phone to set it up. Setting it up again is super easy. However, what makes the Xiaomi thing a little bit better is that you can also use it with iPhones. So it's not as well integrated per se. However, if you have an AirTag but you don't have an iPhone, you're screwed, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Xiaomi Tag is a little bit more flexible.
But battery-wise, these two devices are pretty much the same. I mean, exactly the same, because they both work with the same small coin battery, like this one. The battery lasts about a year or maybe even a little bit longer, so you can practically forget about the device. But there are devices out there that are rechargeable. So I would say there is definitely some room for improvement. So the coin batteries are good, but not perfect.
And now let's talk about their structure, physicality. If you just buy the Apple AirTag, it's very limited to what you can put this on. Not speaking even about dogs. If you even want to put this on your keys, you already have to buy an extra gadget. And I don't like that. For our dog, we have a Cityway AirTag holder. And getting a separate holder was a little bit tedious, but at the same time, with that plastic casing, the AirTag is also a little bit more safer at the end of the day. But with the Xiaomi, you already have a built-in loop, which makes it a lot easier to put on things and our dog. The Xiaomi device will be a little bit, naked in the natural world, but they do say that it is waterproof, up to 1 meter, 30 minutes. So I think it will last, but it will get a little bit dirty.
Now, when we talk about the sound feature and compare the first and second generation, we can clearly say that the second generation is louder and also sharper, like I said before. But when we compare it with the Xiaomi Tag, there's no question that Xiaomi Tag was a lot louder.
And catchier.
It even made us dance a little bit.
And our dog sing.
And also because the Apple AirTag does need some kind of a holder, in our case the Cityway casing, then the sound became even more muted. So there's no question that Xiaomi Tag definitely beats the AirTag in this category.
Now let's talk about their main feature, which is their GPS, Find My, I don't know what you want to call it, feature. And both of these devices work in a similar fashion. Both of these devices use Bluetooth.
Maybe you should just get Bluetooth.
Okay, Bluetooth, come over here.
It's not related to your teeth, it's just, I call it a speaker. Basically, when these things go out and about in the city, other people's phones hear the Bluetooth sound. And then they send messages to your phone. Hey, I heard your little AirTag, here I am. So these devices do not actually have any Bluetooth chips, they don't talk with satellites, they just go out and about and use other people's phones. But it's important to remember that the AirTag only works when it goes near iPhones and iPads. But the Xiaomi is better because, remember, it also works with Androids, not only iPhones. So theoretically, this device will get more signal in cities because it will also work with Androids. Another win for this little baby right here.
The way we use them is a backup because the battery lasts over a year. And well, when our dog does end up running off, there is a tiny little chance that we can still track them with this device. But did you also know that both of these devices have this cool little feature? And if you're ever gonna lose one of your tags, then you can go to your Find My app and turn on the contact info sharing. And if you're ever gonna find one of these devices, then put it close to your NFC tag reader and it will show who this tag belongs to, so you can contact the owner.
But I know when we tested it, NFC doesn't work that well. And even when we just had a little casing surrounding the AirTag, we couldn't get the NFC to work. So you really have to know how this thing works.
Yeah, so it is a really cool feature, but only if you know that it's there.
And honestly, there's not much else to talk about the features. The GPS is the main one. They both have the NFC tag and you can both share this device with your family members. I mean, I guess the AirTag also has this Marco Polo game, aka the nearby feature, where if you have it in your drawer or under a pillow or something, you can see an arrow pointing. But has it ever worked with us?
Not really.
Yeah, so I mean a point for AirTag, but I'll give you like half a point actually. Now, let's take that all together into one big answer. Which device is better?
Overall, both of these devices are pretty good. They are lightweight, they work, they find your things. But if you compare apples to apples, then Xiaomi wins.
Yeah, if you're looking for a tracker for your keys, wallet, suitcase, the Xiaomi Tag is, I guess, built different.
I'm built different.
Oh shit!
The sound is better, the tracking is better, the structure better. It has this little loop thingy, which is already more practical. The sound is sharper, and I mean, it works with Android and iPhone. Hello Apple. This just makes more sense. It's also a little bit cheaper, but neither of these have a subscription, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
So, Xiaomi, I love you. Atena. Atena. But if we do talk about pet tracking, it does get a little bit more complicated.
Because neither of these devices are actually built for dogs. These are small, dogs can chew them, they can break, and I mean, if your dog ends up running into the woods, there are no phones to give you signal. These are not built for finding moving things, and dogs are really fast, so if you do end up getting a signal, well, your dog is most likely already somewhere else. The way we use them is a backup, because the battery lasts over a year. And, well, when our dog does end up running off, there is a tiny little chance that we can still track them with this device.
But if you are interested in actual dog GPS devices, definitely check out our Pet Tech playlist. We have taken a look at so many different GPS devices, and we personally really like the tractive GPS device and satellite device. These devices are actually built for dogs, and they will give you a GPS device anywhere. But they also have a few minuses. If you are interested in them, check them out and let us know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and check out our dog training app. Check out our store where we have cool things. Check this out. And we'll talk to you next time.